In this video, we're going to take a deep dive on Azzi Fudd. Will she return or won't she? And what does future UConn look with and without her? We'll go a little bit nerd alert on the numbers with the lineups with UConn. As well, I'll do a quick look into the future on UConn, a quick who will stay and who will go, just a thumbs up, thumbs down. Then I will touch on Tennessee losing to Vandy, just a quick one on how Kim Caldwell did in her press conference. And then I will use that to transition into who will be coaching UConn in 2040. As always, before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel as well. Leave comments. Your poison is welcome. By the way, the comments have been great. Bruin Vince left me a thesis on UCLA's problems. As well, another commenter, I can't find them now, but they let me know they thought Roy Harmon had another year of eligibility after this year, correcting me on the last video. They are correct. Roy Harmon can return to Texas in 25-26. And you know who else can return in 25-26? Yes, Azzi Fudd. And as you're likely aware, she is very much undecided. She didn't do a Paige Bueckers and surprise the fans on senior day and grab the mic and say, yeah, I'm coming back. She doesn't know what she wants to do. And to be honest, that is extremely fair, as there are pros and cons either way. I thought what I would do is list those out, and then at the end I'll take my guess, but it's based on nothing. As I've mentioned before, I have my own 22 and 19-year-old daughter. I never know what they're going to do, so how the heck would I know what Azzi Fudd's going to do? So the pros are, first of all, she would have another year to come back and put the cherry on top of her career. In terms of having a dominant season the whole way through, it looked like the year when Paige Bueckers was out with her ACL injury. She started off quite strongly versus Texas, and then it all went wrong when Aaliyah Edwards got pushed into her knee and she hyperextended, and it was just a disaster thereafter. But in those few games, it looked like she was just going to break out and be the superstar that everyone envisioned her being. Another pro is it would allow her to solidify her draft stock. Right now, it's quite variable. You'll see some mock drafts have her 5 going to the Valkyries. Others have her not being in the first round. It's just dependent on who's doing their mock draft, but really it's dependent on what the teams, the WNBA teams, love. The other important factor is how she goes in the tournament. If she has a not so good tournament, more likely to come back and prove her worth and prove her draft stock. If she has a fantastic tournament, UConn wins the championship, every UConn fan's dream, then you could see her more easily deciding, hey, it's time to sail off in the sunset with Paige, as I've gotten my championship and there's nothing more to prove playing college basketball. And that makes sense because it's a big risk coming back if you fulfilled all your dreams in college, because playing that 5th year, if she gets injured, it could be devastating to any chance she has of making it to the WNBA, as it really hurts your window. I mean, it wouldn't end it, especially for her because she's had the previous knee injuries, if it was a knee injury, but even if it was a shoulder, it just disrupts things like Elizabeth Kitley, who unfortunately had hers around tournament time, and she had to miss basically her rookie season, and this will essentially be her first year playing for the Las Vegas Aces. For Fudd's teammate Aubrey Griffin, it really worked out well for her that she had that redshirt year up her sleeve. I don't know if it's a COVID year or whatever, but it allowed her to rehab her knee. And then now she's getting the chance to prove to WNBA scouts the knee's fine, I can be healthy, and gives Griffin a chance to be a first or second round pick in the 2025 draft. And to me, that's the real crux of the situation. Are you willing to take that risk of getting injured in that 5th year? Because it really can mess up your window, especially with her, with all the injuries that she's had in the past. The other downside is she will be 29 years old like Paige Bueckers if she returns next year, and all the guff that she will take from fans and media for being too old to play with college kids. But I don't want to be negative with UConn fans because I imagine they're the ones watching this video. The massive pro for staying at UConn is the conditions are better. Depending on where you get drafted, if you go to the Valkyrie or the Aces or Phoenix, then you're going to have A1 facilities and likely first class. But if you get drafted by the Sun, then you're likely practicing next to a kid's birthday party. And then there's the question of what are you leaving for that WNBA garbage rookie contract that is not guaranteed? They can cut you at any time, even if you're a first round draft pick. So again, it's not a bad option to stay at UConn first class facilities and hopefully maxing out that NIL money because she is not international. So now what do I think? I think if UConn wins the championship and she plays well, she goes. If they don't or just miss out on the championship, then I think she returns. But I support any decision that AZ Fudd makes. Good luck to her. But if she did return, it'd be quite nice because for next season, you have Sarah Strong. If you take a look at the on-off numbers right now, look for the season who has the highest plus minus. It's AZ Fudd right next to Ashlyn Shade. So both returning with Sarah Strong. That would be a good nucleus to build with. The other player I wonder if they're going to return or not is Cadence Samuel. She really hasn't gotten that much time this year. I wonder if she decides to transfer, as well as Ice Brady. I think Ice will stay. The other question is Patterson. What's going to happen with Patterson? Descharme is playing. She got 7 minutes in the last game. It looks like her minutes are building. Hopefully it'll be a fresh start next year and she can stay injury-free. That is our future look. As I said, I was going to take a brief look at Tennessee. They went down to Vanderbilt 84-76. After the game, Kim Caldwell was actually good, I thought. She took, it was the usual stuff. We need to focus and everything every coach says. But the other thing I liked is she was like, probably need to look at load management a little bit more in the future. She talked about what a grind the SEC is and how she thought her team was fatigued.
I think the SEC is an absolute grind. And I think, like I said, in hindsight, our load, we could have managed our load a little bit better because it absolutely takes a toll on you night in and night out. And I think our last 2 weeks have showed that we're a little fatigued, we're a little banged up, and we need some rest.
Overall, if you're a Tennessee fan, I think you're still happy with the hire of Kim Caldwell. I don't think Tennessee was really going anywhere with Kelly Harper. Caldwell has a good recruiting class coming in. I'm curious to see how it goes next year. I really don't know about this style of play or if she will adjust it as she gets better players. I'm just curious to see how it goes. And then that ties me into Geno Auriemma. Now, at some point, he is going to retire. So I wonder, I'm putting out there in 2040, who will be the new UConn coach? I figure at that point, he will be 85 years old, if my math is correct. And at some stage, I don't know when, he will hang it up. He talked about it in preseason that the trap of having a good player is they can sometimes trap you into staying because you feel like you owe it to them to deliver on your promise to bring them a championship almost. He's like, that's the eternal trap of having good players is you might not leave because you have that player. So hopefully Sarah Strong keeps Geno around for at least another 3 years because I love his press conferences and just the content this program provides. It's great. It's a fun watch because he doesn't give BS answers. He talks what's on his mind. I like both him and Mulkey. I don't agree with everything they say, but I do like their honesty and how they talk, and they're sort of to that old, I don't give a damn stage. I'll tell you what I think, and I'm not worried about anything. I think it's refreshing. But unfortunately, at some stage, he will retire, and the question is, will UConn go like Tennessee in-house initially? And it has to be within the UConn family, much like North Carolina used to do. And if that's the case, I guess, who are the leading candidates? Would it be Carla Berube of Princeton or Shay Ralph at Vanderbilt? Or is it really better to go outside the family? Like, is that why Tennessee has struggled so long? Because they kept on bringing in-house former players. And I guess that's my question is, are you better for a program like UConn after Geno? Hopefully it happens a long, long way down the line. When it happens, are you keen for them to stay in-house in the family, or are you hoping that they go outside and sort of look to get like a young, hungry coach like a Kim Caldwell? Anyway, now I will leave it over to you. Your comments, your poison, it's all welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. By the way, I said 2040 that Gino would be 85 then. My God, I'd be 70. So I'm not trying to retire him in the next 3 years. But hey, if you want to give me poison on that, by all means, go for it. Thanks a lot for watching.